Okay.
Hi, I'm Bosiak and I teach at Lincolnton High School in Lincolnton, North Carolina. I have 9th through 12th graders, but my primary focus is going to be with my Earth and Environmental students, which are my 9th graders. I've been teaching for 18 years, and as far as climate in my classroom and climate in my curriculum, that's been something that I've done my whole life. I don't see how that you can be a responsible citizen without looking at climate. Why am I here and why is my face looking like it is? Because I'm at the Dia de los Muertos Festival in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I also believe that it is very important to include climate and culture, because you can't understand where somebody's coming from or why climate might be important to them if you don't understand the culture that they came from. So this is the celebration of Dia de los Muertos, and I have a number of students from Mexico in my classroom, and so I'm going to try and include them and what we do as far as that. So the initial interest that I had in the Windows into Paris program was how fabulous to include both climate negotiations, climate instruction, culture, meeting new people, and actually looking at what the media does and doesn't do with regard to reporting to us and letting us make some intelligent and informed decisions. So I'm hoping to bring that sort of thing back to my students through blogs and through Skyping and just in general storytelling, because again, storytelling is amazingly important when it comes to how you teach and what you teach and getting through to your students. Why are these changes important to me? Well, you know, I'm 60 years old, so I'm kind of on the downhill side of things, but I tell my students that they are the future, and they are the future of what's going to happen with me for the rest of my life, and the future of what's going to happen with them and their students, ultimately children who become students as well. So those changes are very important, because if we continue to go the way we're going now, it's not going to be an option for changes. The changes are going to happen without us, and the changes are going to happen because of us. And so it sort of falls back onto the 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. And if I can bring that back for my students from Paris, to let them know that that's really what happens and they really can make a difference, that's a phenomenal accomplishment. You know, as far as getting the kids ready before I go, I talk about it all the time. I talk about the importance of it. I talk about the importance of me being there and seeing what's being reported and how it's being reported. And I talk about the importance of meeting other people and seeing how they deal with the situation. But you know, I think the most important thing again is going to fall back on the storytelling that I can bring back to them from Paris and from the negotiations when I come back. And then putting them into the situations using the Global Citizen curriculum, where they can look at cap and trade and they can look at some of the new technologies, and then they can actually relate that back to what's going on with the world, and then become role-playing to actually become those UN moderators and see whether or not they can make those situations work where maybe they have or have not worked in the real world. For me, why am I going? Well, because it's just that important, and it's important to bring that real world experience back to my students, to get them interested, to get them excited about the possibility of change instead of constantly hearing the negativity of it. You can't make a change if you're not excited about something, and I think they also need to know that there are other students out there just like them, just like they are trying to make changes, so are other students globally, and I think that's an extremely important aspect to what we're going to be doing. Thanks.
I don't know if I shut it off.